I think this project's going to be shared, like the whole aspect. And I think this project is going to be kind of an experiment, to be honest. I've made a lot of traditional movies. I mean, I've made a lot of short films and then films, and well, I never really made short films. I made more like skits, and movies, and I'll continue doing that. But I'm very excited about all the new tech and opportunities there are to reach audiences and create film, both like using social media and also AI. And I'm experimenting with it right now. And so, I've kind of gotten excited about AI filmmaking, and I'm working with some really interesting creators, and I'm adapting a story of mine using this technology. Which it's like making a movie. You're getting shots and you're editing them together, and then using actors to voice the characters and doing sound. But the most important part of it is the story, right? Like in this era where you can, make anything you want, really, which is here and it's coming. Like it's here and it's just going to get better and better and better. And in a world where anyone can make anything that they want and make it look any way that they want, story is going to be paramount, I believe, right? I think there'll be a place for all kinds of things, but I think story is going to be paramount. Because when everyone can do everything, it still comes back to who can tell a story that connects with an audience, right? Who has a story to tell? And so I always like to be story focused, and so I was looking at all the things that I have, all the stories that I'm passionate about, because I write a lot of stories. And there's one in particular that I just felt lended itself so well to this new technology that I could start working on it now, which is very exciting. It's very exciting to be, developing a story and then live seeing it come to life, right? Like it's been a dream of mine forever to write a novel, and I'd love to do it one day. But for some reason, I think in terms of movies. I think in terms of characters and shots and tone and style and aesthetic and pacing and film. And that's just where I gravitate towards. I tell stories to myself and in my mind and to others in a cinematic way. And so I'm currently developing a story that I've been mulling over for a very long time. And as I'm doing that, I'm shooting it, quote to quote unquote. I'm shooting it with AI. Now, listen, I may never show anyone the AI. I may show everyone the AI. The AI may just be a kind of early previs for me, or it may be the final end product. I don't really know, but I'm experimenting and I'm trying. And I got to say, I'm excited. So with that said, I want to first invite you in on the writing process, because why not? So this is Roman Forever, as it's currently called, and it's a vampire story. Okay? And I feel like the best way to kind of get you into this story is I can just like maybe move through the screenplay with you where I am so far, because I'm actually already on page 45 of this thing. I've got the whole thing pretty much beat out in my head, which I do. I sit around for a long time. In this case, it's been a few years. And I develop the concept in my head, and I think about all the pieces, and I take a lot of notes. And then once I feel like I've got it and this thing is like bursting to get out of me, that's when I hit the typewriter. So, page 45, but let's start here. Love is from the infinite and will remain until eternity. The seeker of love escape. Let me try that again. Love is from the infinite and will remain until eternity. The seeker of love escapes the chains of birth and death. Tomorrow, when resurrection comes, the heart that is not in love will fail the test. Rumi. Exterior, the heavens night. POV, we're flying, the moon is full, glowing in the night. Soft layer of clouds just below us. Clara's voiceover. The most precious things are fleeting. A blooming flower, the beauty of youth, the thrill of the night. Life itself, all things to be cherished, come and go in a blink of an eye, and none is more precious than love. Town Square, Slovenia, night. The old Eastern European city sparkles in the moonlight. Verdigris rooftops scattered across the skyline. The sea twinkles in the distance. Clara, true love. A nightclub called Le Valmont is closing. Suave men and beautiful women wearing as little as possible, showing off their sleek legs and perfect bodies, scatter into the night. An old bridge adorned with copper statues of dragons turned green from the rust. Clara, endless love. Footsteps cut through the night. A couple's shadow stretches across the cobblestone. Love that is unshackled by time. Yet most humans never taste this sweet nectar. Her hair jet black, her big eyes soaking up all the available moonlight. I'm going to add moonlight. She's a dream to look at, her body slender. Low-cut jeans and a thin silk top leave most of her torso exposed. A few tiny ink etchings cover her hands and the back of her neck. A cheap bag dangles from her arm, her heels in her left hand. Sveta, tell me how you do it. Roman stops. Do I not introduce Sveta? Her hair is jet black, her big eyes soaking up all the available moonlight. Is Sveta. This is Sveta, early 20s. Tell me how you do it. Roman stops, towering over her. He holds up a gold coin, maybe from the Russian era, maybe from the Roman era, or older. Do what? Roman is pale, handsome, eyes burning with frightening intensity. He shuffles the coin into his palm and crosses his He shuffles the coin into his palm. He shuffles the coin into his palm and across his fingers until it vanishes. That, your trick. I can't say. Are you magician? That I am not. I learned this trick from a world-class magician, though. Why did he teach you? She probably has an accent. Roman walks with such grace it's almost like he's gliding. Sveta captivated by his every move. We made a deal. He conjures the coin once again and flicks it. Sveta catches. Clara's voiceover. Roman knew how to love, deeper and more fully than most humans ever could. A dark gray 1993 Porsche 911 Carrera RS has its door opened by Roman. Sveta gives him a look of sensual surrender as she sits in the vehicle. Roman is intoxicated by her scent. He scans her perfect leg, waist, and neck. Everything is Right by Skylar plays. Interior, Roman's Porsche 911 night. Roman slides into the cockpit, the dash glowing, the soft, powerful purr of the engine vibrates through Sveta. She holds out a clear, tiny bag containing a bluish crystal powder. May I borrow your finger? He dips his pinky into the bag, covering the tip with the powder, and holds it up for Sveta. She maintains eye contact with Roman. She wraps her lush lips around his fingers. I mean, what's cool is, like, I can be sharing this with you and whoever's interested in watching and hearing the story and commenting on it and communicating back with me as I develop it. And then I can show you shots and scenes, and you can see what the characters look like and what the world looks like and what the motion's like and hear the music, and we're going to be able to build this thing. You'll be able to kind of participate as we go. I mean, I think that's cool. She maintains eye contact with Roman as she wraps her lush lips around his finger. Exterior, town square, Slovenia. Clara, all the wealth and power in the world did little for Roman. He was obsessed with beauty. He worshipped it. He worshipped at its altar. Music, paintings, a bird hovering in the breeze. He cherished beauty everywhere he found it. The Porsche ventures up a curved road that leads to a magnificent property atop a hill overlooking the whole city. Exterior, old city, Slovenia, continuous. The Porsche speeds past the fairy tale town. Clara. To Roman, there was no beauty more exquisite than a woman. Exterior, chateau night. A contemporary chateau overlooks all of Slovenia. Large wrought iron gates with 2 torches burning on both sides, open for the Porsche. Despite his immortal damnation, Roman could feel deeply and love even deeper. Thus he grew bored of the pleasures of flesh, longing instead for his one true love. Interior, Roman's 911, continuous. They stop before the entrance of the magnificent home. You live here? Roman, sometimes. Interior, chateau night. A collection of rare art, marble statues, and contemporary pieces decorate the large entryway. Hundreds of candles light the space. The large portcullis That is, the home's front door, made of wood and metal, opens for Seta and Roman. She observes all the fine art, new and old. She struts towards the living room. Roman is by a green marble bar. Rare wines, vintage bottles. A black cat jumps onto a stool. Drink? Red wine. She runs her hands across the keys of a pipe organ. Seta, where are you from? He places his hand over hers. Together they touch. Together they etch out a tune. They face one another. She sips her red wine. I don't know where I'm from anymore. She approaches him, her lips close, breathing in sync. Seta, may I play music? She holds up her pink phone. Interior, chateau, master bedroom, moments later. Seta and Roman fall onto the large bed. They kiss passionately. She removes his shirt, then her own. She grasps Roman's hand that's held snugly around her neck. Roman, I want to cover your eyes. Large speakers via an aux cable play a trance song off Big Eye's phone. So Big Eyes is Seta. I didn't give her a name originally. Sometimes I don't give all characters names. I'll just kind of capitalize a feature that they might have and go with that, you know, lesser characters, which is like a bad term because there's no such thing as a lesser or smaller character. But I think for script writing, it is helpful sometimes because it allows the reader to focus on central characters that you're going to follow throughout the whole story. But at the same time, I think I changed this because I was shooting this scene when I was doing some testing with AI where I'm shooting real actors and then running them through on the AI, and it like takes my characters, puts it on their body, but it keeps the performance. It's like motion capture. And I like to give characters names when actors read and get roles and get sides. So that's why I changed it. Large speakers, but I had done that earlier. I didn't shoot this scene. I did the walk and talk scene. Large speakers via an aux cable play a trance song off Seta's phone. I mean, that's a lot. Maybe it's just a trance song plays off Seta's phone. A vertical video of Clara, the artist, plays. Clara voiceover. But Roman, despite being a true romantic, had a dark side he could not contain, a beast deep within that he had to feed. Seta has a silk scarf tied around her eyes. Roman grabs her neck and forces her down onto the bed. Roman, this is so much more interesting. He throws her over and begins to tie up her wrists with thick black rope. Roman, beg me nicely. Roman kisses her neck. His fangs begin to show. The song gets louder as the voice of an angel starts singing on the track. This is the voice of Clara. Are you afraid? It's not Clara. It's Seta. No. Roman, let's take our time and see how long that lasts. Seta sucks on his ear. Roman pulls her bound hands towards his headboard. The music is mesmerizing, piquing Roman's attention. He turns towards the phone. Who sings this? He sits up with her phone in hand. A music video of Clara in a thin dress blowing in the wind plays. Roman's put into a trance by it. The artist's name is Clara. It's a little clunky. A music video. Music video plays. Roman's put into a trance by it. That's better. The artist's name is Clara. The artist is Clara. Less is more. Who sings this? Roman asks. You're watching, you know, a lot of this work is like first pass work, so you're getting a early glimpse. Be gentle. I'm not sure. Seta sits up behind Roman, still blindfolded. She runs her hands along his chiseled chest and defined abs. She pinches his nipples. I love the song. I think her name's Clara, Roman says. Roman gets up. Seta falls back onto the bed. Seta, Roman, where are you? Roman, big eyes. Set as POV. She removes the blindfold, revealing an old woman with skin like wrinkled leather, one dead eye, and a large mole under her nose. Esme. A tattered scarf holds back her wild gray hair. Seta is shaken to the core at the sight of the old hag. Esme. Thick Eastern European accent. Roman Hiliv. Take your time, no hurry. I show you out. Two cats weave between Esme's feet as she exits the room. Seta composes herself alone in the large bedroom. Interior chateau library, night. Fire rages in the grand fireplace. Rows of books cover every wall, save the space just above the fire where a large television hangs. On it, a music video by Clara plays. The song echoes in his sanctuary, in this sanctuary. Roman sits in a tufted leather sofa, his phone in hand, watching Clara perform before him. Her voice ensorcels him. He scrolls her social media feed. Roman sits in a tufted leather sofa, his phone in hand. Oh, okay. Every image of Clara is well curated. Each post depicts an artist who is ethereal and contemporary with a style all her own. Lots of thoughts here, but I'm going to save it. Now's not the time. I need to just plow forward now, go back, clean later. Fight the war now. Help the wounded later. Her hair sometimes red or blonde or jet black. Her feed is a fantasy world that feels ancient yet modern. Photos of Clara with clouds under her. Feathers behind her or smoke in front of her. Her subtle smile and piercing eyes arouse Roman to his core. She's perfect. Esme, off screen. Get it out of your mind. OS means off screen. Roman, it's her. Esme grunts. She walks past Roman towards a leather-bound grimoire resting on an antique bookstand. Spare me your evil eye, Esme. I do not desire your judgment. She briefly scans the page of the grimoire before slamming it shut. I haven't felt this way about the others. Esme grunts as she returns the grimoire to its shelf. It's your life. I need not a reminder. As Esme approaches the large carved wood door, Roman turns to her. I think I'll go to Paris this morning. She scowls at Roman before leaving the room. On Roman's phone are a list of Clara's performance dates. The most immediate is scheduled for tomorrow at Silencio. Clara, voiceover, singing. This is a song. Am I asleep or just awake? Interior, Clara's bedroom, day. A small room with the history of a child who has grown into a woman. Posters of powerful women adorn the walls. Madonna, Sophia Loren, Diana Ross, Cleopatra. Clara rests on her bed, writing song lyrics in her journal. It's magic when a piece of you catches fire with the world. Songs always just came to me. They flowed through me as if they were from the beyond, and I was the channel. Now Clara's singing. I feel you, but you're far away. Interior recording studio. When there's no day or night, it's a space you can't tell. Clara has her hair tied in a braid. Large headphones cover her ears. It's just her and a microphone. Her eyes are closed. Her skin glows in the dimly lit studio. And like it was magic, people listened. If this is real, don't wake me up. If it's a lie, I'm still in love. The music stops just beyond a wall of glass. Sit several men at the mixing console. One of them, AJ, dressed in green sweats, presses a button and talks into a microphone. You know what? I'm going to try something. 1 second. All right, so the song. I wrote the song. I wrote the lyrics in here. And as I was reading it, I realized, you know what? There's this app that I found recently that I could put the song into and like get some ideas of what this feels like. So I did it. I just typed the lyrics in, asked for like a trance song, ethereal. Let's listen to the options. Here's the first one. That's so cool. Like, love AI or hate AI, but there are going to be so many creators doing this, sitting in this setup with their screen and their ideas and their imagination and building a world. It's coming. I mean, fuck. Like, I could generate the shots and the song. I mean, not that I don't love being on set and filming. I'll always do that. But the idea that I could also build another story this way, I'm in. I think it's cool. Whether I do it or not, I'm learning. I like to experiment with everything, story-wise, film-wise. Maybe it's not for me, but wow. Okay, here's another. And like it was magic. Oh no, so where does it start? We're seeing Roman. He's looking. Then we come into the studio. Voiceover. I'll have to have spaces between this when I do the real song. Amazing. I mean, the movie's coming to life already. I could see it coming to life. What are you gonna, wow. Interior recording studio. Clara has her hair tied in a braid. Large headphones cover her ears. It's just her and a microphone. The music stops. Just behind a wall of glass sit several men in the mixing console. One of them, AJ, dressed in green sweats, presses a button and talks into a microphone. That was the one. You think so? What everyone in here think? Everyone else in the control room leans in. Fire. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Clara goes, give me one more. Just the last line. AJ relents. Clara closes her eyes. The music starts. AJ drops the recording into the mix, presses play. The waveforms dance off the screen. Everyone in the studio moves to the music. Cut 2. Interior classroom day. A room full of teenage students. A young girl has an AirPod in her right ear. Clara's song plays. The waveform dances past her and into Clara's voiceover. My song found its way into the people's ears and into their hearts. Cut 2. Photo studio. She's wearing a light blue silk dress. It blows in the wind, cast by a large fan. They're making a music video. TikTok, playlists, radio, clubs. It was a dream come true. Cut 2, subway, passengers on their phone listening to the song through headphones. They're not alone. Several other passengers scroll past Clara's videos on their phones. Exterior city, the subway car speeds past the waveforms, fluttering to the clouds. The waveforms are dancing. Thousands of waveforms spiral out of vehicles, windows, and buildings into the sky past the sun's blinding lights. A music festival. The stage lights dazzle. A DJ performs to a massive crowd of people. A large stage designed like a psychedelic cloud where the blimps and hot air balloons are hovering over it. Interior. Backstage, the music festival day. Clara is wearing a white dress. A stagehand fastens her mic to her and a lob near her chest. Jolene standing by her. You're going to do great. Jolene, we introduce this character. She's 24. She's not just Clara's stylist. It's her best friend. She's her guardian. She watches over her like a protective older sister. Clara, what if I choke? You're a star, Clara. All those people out there, they've been waiting for your music all their lives. Now all you have to do is what you were born to. Clara, sing your fucking heart out. Sing your fucking heart out. Clara and Jolene hug. That's dual dialogue, by the way. They hug. Before she takes the stage, the massive crowd cheering of fans before her. Large plumes of smoke billow as the beat drops. Fans and festival goers wave their arms and scream for Clara as the music swells. Clara is a goddess. She commands the crowd. Epic scene in the film, shots of the crowd, the lights, the stage, the performance, Clara soaking it up. You understand, here is a woman who has gone from zero to hero. She's realizing her dream. She's in the midst of a dream. Life can be a dream, and she's living it. She's special. From that, we go into this modest home. Clara's mother, Bonnie, is alone at her kitchen table writing her daughter a letter. Clara's voiceover, and we'll probably intercut the two. My mom thought I'd made it, that I was destined for the Grammys or some red carpet affair like the Oscars. Bonnie kisses the letter before placing it in an envelope. Interior apartment day. Clara stands in her doorway, mail in her hand, her mother's letter opened. She reads, "I'm so proud of you." But then the hype just seemed to pop, like a bubble floating in the wind. A year went by, and I was that artist who made that one song. My managers were desperate for another hit, but I wasn't sure if I could give it to them. I wasn't sure if I'd ever connect with an audience again. She places the mail on the table, pins the letter to her refrigerator, and goes to a window where she looks out over all of Hollywood. Los Angeles can be a lonely place at times. Exterior, Paris airport tarmac night. Black windowless jet taxis through a plume of smoke, its engines winding down. The same symbol that was on Roman's gold coin adorns the side of the jet. A fleet of dark SUVs on the tarmac. A rotund fellow, short, scruffy chain smoker, wearing a black and silver tracksuit, watches Roman's jet arrive. This is Barabbas. Looks 45, probably 400 years old. Roman approaches. He wears loose black pleated dress pants, loafers, knot sweater, and a long trench coat that conceals a silver scabbard dangling from his side. It's his sword's in there. Barabbas, growling French accent. "Roman, you're like a blue moon. I see you once every decade." That was Russian. I thought they'd never... I thought they'd have crucified you by now, Barabbas. They try. Barabbas extends his arms to embrace Roman, his fingers and wrists drenched in jewelry. A silver earring dangles from his left ear. Behind Barabbas, amongst his fleet of SUVs, stands his posse, all wearing shades, though it's night, all in black. Interior SUV night. The vehicle speeds through the city. The driver is a sinewy male, pale, covered in the kinds of tattoos one collects in an 18th century Roman prison. Sitting passenger is a gaunt young woman. Tattoos run her exposed chest. Thick silver necklace and heavy silver jewelry dangle from her pointy ears. Her luscious lips, too large for her tiny body, are glossy black. She is pale like white marble. Roman shifts his gaze to the passing streets just outside the tinted window. Barabbas. I gotta get my French accent on. Is it French? This city is falling to shit. Worst I've seen it in 300 years. Barabbas uses a tiny silver spoon and glass vial to snort a red powder. Probably is the last time I see you. Indulge? He offers the glass vial, but Roman politely declines. All the young ones, they don't drink blood anymore. All they do is this shit. They call it redlining, red rush, black snow.
This is old-fashioned Peruvian marching powder mixed with the blood of an old soul.
It's a Russian French accent. Snorts.
So, what scent got you out of your mausoleum?
I needed some fresh air. Roman point of view. He watches through his tinted window. Humans on the streets, the cafes, in their cars.
Humans. They used to have soul. Now, everything is so technical, analytical. They forget how to...
Love.
Love. Ha! There is no love. Only survival. One thing vampire and human have in common. The need for survival. An obsession with our phones.
Passenger looks up from hers, seeing Barabbas's gaze. Barabbas lights a cigarette with a chrome lighter. He raises the volume of the stereo system. Claire's voiceover. Barabbas, like most vampires, was a lustful creature, a glut for pleasure, though it appeared as if he and others of his kind assumed they would live forever. They all lived in fear of dying. Roman watches the streets from inside his moving vehicle. Rain pelts his window. Roman POV. The streets of Paris morph into a time long ago. No cars, only horses, top hats and canes. There are two well-known ways to kill a vampire. One with sunlight, and while excruciating, it can take days, sometimes weeks, of exposure to kill the strongest of their tribe. And the other known method is a silver stake directly into the heart. Vampires used to fear only God and the men who hunted them. But as the world advanced, so too did the vampire. Dissolve 2 photo montage. Black and white photos appear on screen in an ever-glowing collage. Old photos, grainy photos, images of vampire clans, vampires and humans at war. Men on horse with swords, the rise of nations, ancient cities. Early vampire clans grew into the Black Edict, the formal vampire council that governs bloodsuckers. Pacts were made with the mightiest of humankind, allowing rulers, governments, and nations to thrive in exchange for vampirism to tyrannize in the shadows. Photo montage. A crown on the head of a king, vampires in the shadows of a church, ruins, nature, the vampire council, vampire text. Technological advancements, a black crow flying, a silver stake. Let me show you what I'm thinking for this section. So I want this montage to just feel like black and white images kind of soaking up the screen. Hold on, I'll show. So instead of like a traditional montage, which, I mean, with, AI, the sky is kind of the limits visually to an extent. I want to kind of pull it back here. And as we're learning about the vampirism and the lore and the rules of this world, I want to see images that speak to this information that look like this. Right. Early vampire clans grew into the Black Edict, the formal vampire council that governs the bloodsuckers. Pacts were made with the mightiest of humankind, allowing rulers, governments, and nations to thrive in exchange for vampirism to tyrannize in the shadows. Photo montage, all these images that have that style, that black and white old photo style, just stacking on top of each other. Though rogue vampire hunters still exist, the fear of condemnation from their own kind is what keeps vampires up during the day. The most important law enforced by the Black Edict is that no vampire shall turn a human into one of them without the authorization of the High Council. A breach of this law is punishable by death, and death for a vampire means eternal damnation. Man can look forward to the next life. Vampires cannot. Interior old restaurant, private room, night. An old cellar with low-carb ceilings and brick columns, candles light the space. A large wood table adorned with a feast. Barabbas is at the head of this table. He cuts into a bloody steak.
Roman the Devourer, the Dread, the immortal prince, in my city, my friend, my brother. But he won't tell me why he is here. Perhaps I know.
Roman stops mid-drink, keeps his gaze down.
Have you heard?
Roman looks up at Barabbas with a Kubrickian stare. All the other vampires around the table go still.
Lucian is back.
Though unexpected, it's not what Roman feared. He returns to his meal.
Is he? What are the chances that Roman, the Dark Crusader, and Lord Lucian Vale would return to Paris under the same moon?
How is he?
The same.
Barabbas returns to eating like a wild pig. Another vampire named Eyeliner. I heard he spent the last 2 decades held up in a catacomb, feasting on a new soul every night, bathing in their blood. Could you imagine the stench? Eyeliner 20s, yellowish eyes. He keeps surrounded with thick black eyeliner. Yellowish eyes. Surrounded with thick black eyeliner. Hair like a raven's feather.
I don't need any turbulence in my city.
Barabbas, I told you. I'm here for a good time.
What do you have a taste for? We could do some depraved shit.
I'm just looking for my usual.
Oh, so not too depraved. You always were a romantic. We could go to Relic, Chambre Vierge, Chambre Rogue, Silencio.
Mason Day, Silencio. Sounds fine. Let's go there. Good music?
The best. Trance music. House music. You like Silencio?
Barabbas points to a young female vampire with short hair. The best. She says,
the fucking best. But first,
all the vampires sitting around the table perk up. A young human girl is brought out by 2 strong vampires. She is gagged and bound. The other vampires swipe the table of its plates and glasses to make way for the human. She is thrown onto the table.
You like?
Roman looks at the human girl with cold eyes and expressionless face. Is there any trace of empathy in there?
Didn't have to. The best fucking blood. You gonna find. You do the honors.
You first.
You are my...
I insist. Barabbas rips her blouse open and lunges for her neck. Roman watches as the life is drained from her eyes. The other vampires dive in, sucking from her wrists, stomach, and her inner thigh. Welcome to the Opera by Enema and Grimes plays. A hand leads Roman toward the human girl. It's Barabbas. Clara voiceover. Every soul a vampire takes stays with them for a lifetime. Roman takes her dainty wrist. They lock eyes before he too feasts off her. He can see the universe in her eyes, dissolve too, exterior of the vastness of space. Stardust bursts and explodes in the vacuum of space. Is it just light, or a newly formed spirit venturing through a wormhole in the material world? New souls lack the potency and power of an old soul who is reincarnated across countless lifetimes. Montage, twinkling light and colors of the wormhole become a sequence dressed for a new soul running freely through a grassy field. Images of the Ouroboros flash. You know what the Ouroboros is? It's my company logo. It's a snake eating itself. It represents creation and destruction simultaneously. Many different designs, but all the same symbol. Quick flashes of the constellations, etched images of life and rebirth. The blood of an old soul is the most nourishing for a vampire. Drinking it can be psychoactive and even prophetic. An ecstasy so unlike anything else, it's pure power. All these images are from an ancient scroll among a number of old scrolls scattered by sage vampires in black robes. Interior Vampire Cathedral, night. The halls of an ancient cathedral. A chamber deep in the underground where thousands of years of records are kept. Sanguine monks perform rituals. Shelves with records, maps, and vials of dried blood. Vampire sages dedicate their eternal lives to tracking souls, archiving each by their eternal name, storing their dried blood, mapping their deeds through the ages. One vampire sage burns an incense cone of old soul blood. Interior, old restaurant, private room, continuous. A waft of smoke. We pull back from Roman's eyes. The human girl's blood runs down his lips and chin. Clara voiceover. Roman often pondered God and why he made man, wondering if God, not unlike himself, grew frustrated with eternity, desperate to feel something again, the kind of feeling that can only come from the finite, from knowing loss. Is that why God made man to suffer and die? So that he could once again feel? He pondered all these things, but most of all he wondered why God would ever allow Roman or anything like him to exist. Wow. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to leave you there for today. There's lots more to come. We get into Club Silencio next. Roman and Clara are going to meet, and I'm really excited about that scene. I actually love that scene. So much more to come. Maybe I'll press ahead, forward, and then in another video we'll catch up to where I am, and then eventually we'll be on the same page, and I'll just be writing live, and you can chime in and then drop comments and give notes. By the way, if you have any thoughts on the story so far, or anything that you've seen, or anything that you want to say, please drop a comment below. Yeah, other than that, have a great day.